All right, the little thing said live. I am currently live. Hello, folks. I am Andrew, the face who runs the place Popcorn and Whiskey, a Friday edition. And let me do a couple of little homework things before we get started here. And let's see, do that. Come over here live to Facebook. Oh, uh-oh. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, why does it say only me? Public, anybody? That was strange. All right, why does that come up? Let's see here. Hold on a second there. I get see fewer notifications. Good. All right. Okay. All right. We're getting logged on here, doing our stuff, making sure I'm on all the different platforms. Okay. Okay. So right now I am live on Twitch. If I test it, test. There. Hold on a second, folks. Hold on a second. Okay. Twitch. Now if I come over to YouTube. Uh-oh. All right. Let's see here. Go to YouTube Studio. Hold on, folks. Be right with you. Don't worry. Content. I go live, and I should be live streaming somewhere. Okay, so if I go to my channel on YouTube, video live, if I go live, huh? Well, that's interesting. If I go to my channel, oh, I know why, because I'm on the wrong account. Duh. Here, let me just do it this way. Popcorn and Whiskey. This is my new channel I'm setting up over here on YouTube, by the way, just to let you know. Popcorn and Whiskey. Here you go. Oh, look at it. It says live now. Here we go. Okay. So if I type something in here, test, send. Ah, okay. This is too cool. All right. So for those playing the at home version, here we go. You got me on Twitch, you got me on YouTube, and we got me on Facebook. All three are live right now. So whatever platform you are watching and or listening to me on, that's where we are. Okay. So, yeah. All right. So I had to get that going on real short. I don't know if I want to call it short or quick. One of those kind of things. So here we go. Salute. Here we go. Popcorn and Whiskey, Andrew. Friday night special edition. Oh, wow. I got my girl Charlotte Flair on television too. WWE. So I don't know what's going on there, but oh, she is. Oh, wow. Oh, my heart. Be still my heart. Okay. So those of you who are joining me for the first time or any time, first of all, thank you. But if you look over this side, over there, you're going to see new stuff happening over there, huh? Topics we may be discussing today, and hopefully I'll be able to update that as we go along each week. Let me know, how do you like the new digs, so to speak? My new crib here online. This is my new home. How do you like it? Is it something you want to see more of, less of? What is your overall feelings towards it? Okay. Do I need to even put that up there? I wanted to put some sort of border different than my other one, the popcorn and whiskey, with the other one with the whiskey glasses around there. Maybe you like that one better. All right. Matter of fact, let's just try this while we're doing this together. Uh-oh. Okay, if I do that, and I have to come over here and do this and change the settings, then I'll have a little bit of playing. Okay. Do you like this one better than This one. That one or this one? So you tell me. Right now, I'm going to stick with this one tonight. Okay. So, all right. First of all, thank you for being here. Popcorn and whiskey. A little bit, a little housekeeping going on at the beginning as we're going here, going with the show. I'm coming off a podcast I did earlier today. This was great. This was my my new friend. Just a second here. Maybe see if I can find a name of his podcast. I want to make sure I say his podcast right. John Sansoni is the guy's name, but what the name of his podcast is? All right, here is. Oh, that's not it. Okay, John, you're not promoting it on your page there. So all right, let me find it here on YouTube real quick. So I don't want to mess up the name of his podcast. John Sansoni. Podcast is okay. Let's see, conversations with Cole. I'm see John on different podcast where he's been a guest because he's also in the sales field. All right, here, John. Subscriptions, and I subscribed to his podcast recently. Now I got to go down and find it here. John Sansoni, Sales Warrior. Something about the 80s. Okay, anyway, it's a podcast where he talks about the 80s. And since we're both product of the 80s, we decided to share some stories about the 80s. And as soon as that podcast comes out, I will let you know, because I tell some stories from back in my high school days and from my college days and things of that sort. I've also been asked, hold on a second, to be on another podcast about dating as let's just say, a middle-aged man. So that's got to be interesting. I'm not for certain. We have not set a date for that time, or the time and date for that podcast yet, but that's going to be it's going to be different. So I'm kind of looking forward to that one. Okay. And if you didn't know, I also do a podcast called Top Fitness Strategies, and Top Fitness Strategies Presents. If you want to know more about that, go to topfitnessstrategies.com. I will ask you, I'll tell you what, I will log on to it here. Check out my podcast. My health podcast at topfitnessstrategies.com podcast, or the video podcast. YouTube.com Top Fitness Strategies. Okay. Oh, for crying out loud here. Show it there. Okay, so there you go. So there's that one. So if I wanted to copy this, I can't copy it there. I can't copy it from here. Well, shoot, I don't have to retype it. But it looks like I'm going to have to retype it for the Facebook crowd, because for whatever reason, and this ticks me off. Hi, Brenda. For whatever reason, this really ticks me off that Facebook does not do this properly. In other words, I can type something in my comments, but I have to wait. But I can't copy and paste it. Okay, wait a second here. But I cannot copy and paste it to the Facebook. So I have to find it somewhere else. See if it's listed on here. If I go to YouTube, okay, let's see. Moderation activity is now hidden. Show activity. Okay. All right, here we go. Check out my. Here we go. All right. Okay. Do this. Come over here. All right. Hi, Brenda. Hello. How you doing? Okay. So as you can see, I'm still trying to maneuver through all this. This is different, especially when you have a different platform now. Because if you didn't catch at the beginning, I am live streaming on still on Facebook, still on Twitch, and now also I just put on YouTube to do all that. And Brenda, since you just joined us, if you look over there, look at that. See my new digs? So that's what's going on here. So we'll see how I like doing this, or if I want to keep doing it or not. Okay. So things we're going to discuss are movies, current events, weird stuff, health and fitness, personal, and other stuff. That's what the question marks all are there. Are we going to discuss them all? I don't know. Maybe we will find out. Maybe not. When people say maybe not, or they say it may or it may not. When people say that, my thing is, as opposed to what? Those are the only two choices. Either it may or it may not. So I don't understand. I never did understand that, but hey, I'm sure I've said it before too. So cheers once again. Yes, Brenda. Ooh, weird stuff. We'll get into that. So, hey, John. What's up, John? What's going on? John just, I do believe he's in Texas, and he just finished up his school for the summer. And I think you and I have talked about this, John, but aren't you going to retire, or am I thinking of somebody completely different from teaching, or have you retired recently or something of that sort? If you have, let us know one way or the other. And in what grade did you or are you teaching? Bad weather down there. Oh, he is in Texas. Bad weather down in Texas. I don't exactly know where in Texas, but John and I went to high school together. He's about a year, maybe 2 years older than I am. And fantastic trumpet player in high school. He's tired. He's not retired. He's tired of teaching. All right. No, but John was a premier trumpet player, and I don't know if he kept up with it or not, but fantastic trumpet player. He was also on the, if I recall, weren't you on the swim team, John, as well? Swim team or diving team or something like that, if I recall. But he was a tremendous trumpet player and a pretty good athlete too at the time. Now I don't know. We're all old now, so who knows? Anyway, so weird stuff. Yeah, we'll get into weird stuff. Well, first I want to talk about movies. I talked about this a few weeks ago, but I had some time to process it a little bit. I wanted to talk to you about it again now. John says, thanks. Still have my trumpet, both swimming and diving. All right, so he's in swimming and diving. So, all right, movies. Fast and Furious, episode 10. Yeah, it's like my Dale Jr. NASCAR t-shirt from driver number 88 from several years back. So, Fast and Furious 10, Fast and Furious X, The Fast and Furious 10, however it's pronounced, or whatever the title is. It was a little over the top. I mean, it was on the action from top to bottom, but it was over the top quite a bit for this action movie. I think they could have toned it down a little bit. Jason Momoa plays the bad guy in this, and no, I don't plan on giving out any spoilers. So if you haven't seen it yet, I hope I'm not giving out spoilers. And I'm doing all this by memory, which I saw it maybe 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, something of that sort. So, however I talk about this, it's all by memory. But the Jason Momoa character who plays the bad guy, let's just say he plays an eccentric. The dude is a little off his rocker a little bit yet, trying to play the tough guy, but part of him is being, I guess it's pronounced effeminate, little on the feminine side, if you will, with his actions. So a little bit on the, he's trying to be portrayed as a crazy guy, but very strong character, very knows what he's doing, but he's also kind of crazy type thing, if that makes any sense. And he happens to be at the right place at the right time all the time, and it's set up. But by that I mean he's the bad guy trying to make the good guys either fail or look bad trying, or frame him to do something. And he's at different parts of the world all the time, so he's led to believe he has all kinds of money. Now he is also the son of, I think it was Fast and Furious 5 or Fast and Furious 6. So let's go back through here real quick by memory. Let me see. Okay. Fast and Furious 1 was the original, of course, where Vin Diesel character, which is Dominic Toretto, meets up with Brian O'Connor, who is Paul Walker's character, for the first time. They get together in their families. Paul basically joins Toretto's family, blah, blah, blah. And at the end, he lets him go. Brian's a cop, and Toretto's the bad guy, so the cop lets the bad guy go. That's how it ended. Fast and Furious 2, which I do believe is called Too Fast, Too Furious. Dominic Toretto is not in it. He is mentioned, but he is not in it. But Brian O'Connor is, the Paul Walker character, and that's where Tyrese? Tyrese comes in. And I forget his character's name, but he comes in. I guess I could, you know what? Here's what I'll do. Let's see here. Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious film series. Okay, here we go. The film series is a cast. Okay. All right, here we go. Dominic Toretto, Vin Diesel, Paul Walker, Brian O'Connor, and let's see, Tyrese Gibson, Roman Pierce. Okay, Roman Pierce makes his debut in Fast and Furious Part 2. Oh, geez, Brenda. I like a Jason Momoa and Vin Diesel sandwich. Oh, my gosh. Hey. We will not have that kind of talk on here unless it's me talking about Shania Twain. And you, of course, Brenda. So there you go. Okay. So that's where Tyrese's character comes in. Roman Pierce. It's Fast and Furious 2. And Fast and Furious 3, Tokyo Drift, which a lot of people don't like. But Han is introduced in this one. Han Lu is his name. His name is real name is Sung Kang. I thought personally he is the coolest character of all of them. Oh, and also in part 2, that's where Ludacris, the Taj Parker, comes into play. He's in that one. Okay. So in Tokyo Drift, that's where we get Han, and also Lucas Black, who is a Sean Coswell. Lucas Black is also in one of the NCIS shows, one of those kind of shows. So he comes in to play that, and also Eva Mendes, who plays the undercover cop in that one. All right, so part 3 is where Lucas Black is in, and Sung Lee, or Han, which again I think is the coolest character. John, you haven't seen Fast X yet? No worries. I am not going to get into any spoilers. I'm just going through characters right now. Okay. Number 4, it's when Vin Diesel and Paul Walker, or Dominic and Brian, come back together in and that's when Letty, Michelle Rodriguez, she gets killed in that movie. Again, not a spoiler. That was Fast and Furious 4 we're talking about. And I guess they're going after some drug lord in Mexico. Okay. Fast and Furious 5. That's where a lot of the main things start coming together. That's when The Rock comes into play. That's when, and also Gal Gadot was in 4. Okay, Gal Gadot was also actually Wonder Woman as well. She was in 4. But she comes back in 5. along with Hans back in 5, Tej, Giselle, Roman, Brian Rodriguez, and let's see here. Any of the other ones? Well, there's a few sleeper characters that make appearances here and there, but those are the main ones we're talking about right now. Okay, that's in 5. Dude, your memory is really good. Did you recently watch a fast movie marathon from John? No, I just happened to see these movies several times, and I often wonder, okay, the process or the timeline goes in there. All right, and then so for Fast and Furious 6, this is when, let me think here. Yeah, this is when they're in London, and Letty is no longer dead. She is alive. She comes back from the dead, and it turns out she was never really dead. Somebody found her before, but she lost her memory. Now she's working for the bad guys. So she comes back on that one. And the bad guy in that particular movie is, let's see if I can find him on here. What's his name? Going through here, he didn't have a very good part, a very big part. I'm going through the cast. There's like a gazillion people in this cast. No, it's not Enrique. Okay. Let's see here. I'll tell you in a second. Hold on a second. Jesse. No. Kurt Russell, Mr. Nobody. He doesn't come up there. Doesn't come up. Mr. Nobody's not there yet. All right. Suhang Test. Decker Shaw. Well, the guy's last name is Shaw, but I don't remember who plays him. I'm going through here. I'll tell you in a second. Shaw's the bad guy. His last name is Shaw. And okay, keep that in mind because Owen Shaw, that's it. Okay, Owen Shaw. Luke Evans plays Owen Shaw. He's the bad guy. And I don't know this one from memory. I'm just going through the cast of characters. Okay, so he's the bad guy. And that ends in a really, 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 really long scene at the end where they're in a plane. And this runway must be 5 miles long, this runway. And so I remember watching this with my nephew, and we're at the theater. He looks at me and says, how long is this effing runway? Which was quite funny because I was thinking the same thing. And also, Giselle Gail Gadot character dies in that movie at the end. Yes, that's a spoiler, but that's Fast and Furious 6, 5, 6. Fast and Furious 6. 7 is, let me think about how 7 starts. Oh, yeah. Well, at the end of 6, that's when we get introduced to Jason Statham, Deckard Shaw, who is Owen Shaw's brother. And to understand Fast and Furious 3, you have to know the end of Fast and Furious 6 goes back to 3 at the end of 3. So yeah, that's how the timeline goes. I thought it was silly. Everyone thought it was silly, but it makes sense with the franchise, how it goes. So Fast and Furious 7 was when they're going after Jason Statham, who is an excellent bad guy, by the way. I thought so. And also the character of Ramsey comes into play. She's like a computer nerd type person. All right. And also, let's see, was that? Yeah, because they have a program that can find anybody on Earth called God's Eye. And it can find anybody by going through different cameras, ring cams, door cams, video cameras set outside. So they can find anybody on Earth with this thing. And that's Ramsey is like the inventor of it. All right. That was 7. Fast and Furious 8. Let me think of it. 8 is, I do believe 8 is when Dominic Toretto gets blackmailed into being the bad guy. And say, John, I'll be back. Gonna watch the storm on the front porch. Okay, cool. John's in the middle of a storm. So Fast and Furious 8, that's when, Toretto becomes the bad guy. He's blackmailed into becoming a bad guy. That's when we find out he also has a kid. which I thought it was kind of weird because his old girlfriend. It's love story, but I think the timing was all off by a couple of years. Honestly, from the way the kid was born, the way they, it was just weird. Part 9 was, let me think here. What was part 9? Oh yeah, part 9 is when they flew a car in space. That was dumb. One of the dumbest things ever. I was told that was going to happen, but I didn't see it in any previews. And I said, "There's no way that's going to happen," and they actually did it. It was dumb. 9 is probably one of the dumbest ones of the series. So then we come to 10 with Jason Momoa being the bad guy. And yes, Brenda, I know you like Jason Momoa and Vin Diesel. There you go. Yeah, I think my sandwich is better. Okay, so that's the Fast and Furious 10 franchise. So anyway, the bad guy in Fast and Furious 5, who dies at the end, and it's not a spoiler, that's part of the plot line. You have to know that going into 10. For Fast and Furious 10. So the son of the guy who died or got killed in 5, the bad guy, is now the bad guy in Fast and Furious 10. So if they keep going increments of 5, so that means in Fast and Furious 15, this guy's son, which the way he's acting in this movie, I don't think he's going to be having a son because it won't happen. Let's say he doesn't seem to be attracted to the female persuasion. All right, let's just say that. But anyway, like I said, it was way over the top. There was a lot of stuff that happened that it just didn't make any sense in terms of flow for the movie, and everything was too predictable. And a lot of the bad stuff going on to the good guys was way, way, way over the top and way, way, way not included with the characters. The character development, I don't think. Jason Momoa did what he could with the script he was given. I think so. I think he did his best with it. I don't think anybody could have done anything better. The script wasn't the greatest, that's for certain. I was surprised because Mr. Nobody, who's played by Kurt Douglas. Let's see here, Kurt Douglas. Yeah, Kurt Russell. Excuse me, Kurt Russell, Mr. Nobody. They mentioned him, but he wasn't in it, and I forgot what they said. I don't know if he's retired or what have you. I just didn't see him on there, so he wasn't in it. I think he should have been. Oh, what's this? Hold on a second. Okay. All right. Okay, so that movie's done. So just if you're a fan, you'll want to see it. If you're not missing a whole lot. Put it that way. Also, you'll have to, if you're not a fan of the movie, I would suggest watching some of the other ones to get a feel for everything. Watch 5, at least Fast and Furious 5, to when everybody's introduced all together. That's probably the best of all of them, if you ask me. Let's see. A new movie coming out, which I want to talk about as well. I got to read to this. It's called Elemental. Have you guys heard of Elemental? I guess they've been showing this left and right all over the place. I have not heard of it until today, matter of fact. And I went to see the description of it, and somebody read it on the radio. I said I couldn't believe it, the description. Okay. Here's the description from movies.disney.com. And no, I have not read through this yet, so forgive me. It says Disney and Pixar's Elemental is an all-new original feature film set in Element City where fire, water, land, and air residents live together. The story introduces Ember, a tough, quick-witted, and fiery young woman whose friendship with fun, sappy, go-with-the-flow guy named Wade challenges her beliefs about the world they live in. Okay, that wasn't the description I heard today. Oh, I got to find that description. So they had to have changed it. Absolutely, they had to change it. Let's see. Is it IMDb? No. So they have to change the description. Let's see, Wikipedia. Let's see what Wikipedia says about this thing. Why do I keep getting this? The virus and threat protection. Your security subscription expires in 4 days. Okay, I'm not renewing the subscription. I keep getting this. Go to notification settings. Turn off all notifications for Windows security. It won't let me. Get account protection notifications. Account protection problem with Windows. Hello. I have a question. No, I don't want that. So turn that off. Okay, there you go. Okay, the plot. All right, this is according to Wikipedia. Bernie and Cinder Lumen immigrate to Element City by ship. They faced early struggles as they met with the xenophobic views about fire by other elements, but eventually carve out their own place in the city. After the birth of Ember, they build their own convenience store, which became the Fireplace. Years later, Ember grows up working in the shop with Bernie and dreams of taking over once her father retires, but must first contend with her fiery temper. Huh? I don't get it. And I guess this movie cost $200 million to make. Yeah, John, there's a lot of Romeo and Juliet ripoffs out there. I'll tell you my favorite one, and I thought this was great, and I don't know why. It's Romeo and Juliet, about the yard gnomes. I thought that was cute. I love that one, the Romeo and Juliet. Also, speaking of movies, and while we're in the love story type stuff, one of my favorite movies of all time, and this may come up as a trivia question sometime, so be prepared. One of my favorite movies of all time is a movie called Wuthering Heights, the original Wuthering Heights, the 1939 classic. I do believe it's 1939. 39 or 40, I think it's 39. Agreed. Nomeo was Goose. I think you probably meant to type good. Nomeo was good. So Wuthering Heights. And the only reason I watched Wuthering Heights, because I've never heard of it, is because Pat Benatar, on her Crimes of Passion album, has a song called Wuthering Heights, which I absolutely love. Wuthering Heights. Oh, I got a story about that one too. I love that song. So this is when I was still living with my mom and dad, and looking through the TV guide at the time, because at this time we did not have any internet. Looking through the TV guide, I said, "Hey, Mom, look, there's a movie called Wuthering Heights," and I said, "It's a Pat Benatar song," and which I adore Pat Benatar, by the way. My mom said it was a book which she read when she was a little girl in Italy, a schoolgirl. Like, oh, okay. So I decided to stay up late and watch it, and so does she. And it's an old movie, which I don't really care for old movies. A love story, which I don't really care for love stories, but I loved that movie. It's for Laurence Olivier, starred in it, and Meryl Oberon. I thought it was Oberon, but it's Meryl Oberon starred in it. And I do believe her supporting actress, who I think she won this. Yeah, Brenda, you love that song. Used to sing it in the shower when I could hit those high notes. Yeah, and I'll tell you a story about that song in a second too. But I do believe and I don't know why I had the stupid trivia. The best supporting actress that year went to Elizabeth Fitzgerald, I think was her name, who played Meryl Oberon's sister in the movie. Don't ask me why I know this. I just do. I think it's a fantastic movie. And I think they did a fantastic job all the way around with it. And so that song, Wuthering Heights by Pat Benatar, she did not write the song. Kate Bush wrote the song. And if you hear Kate Bush's version of it, she hits these notes that are so freaking high. I think it'll make dogs howl. I mean, that's how high these notes are. I don't like Kate Bush's version at all. And again, I'm biased because Pat Benatar version was way better. She does not sing it in concert, or she didn't used to sing this in concert very often. But I guess she was getting a lot of requests for it. And there's one video out there that I found where somebody recorded it off of their phone or a camcorder or whatever, where Benatar is singing this with her husband, Neil Giraldo, I should say, and they nail it. But anyway, I follow a girl on Facebook. Shoot, what is her name? I want to say Pam, but it's not Pam. Let's see if I type in Pam. Oh shoot. Live. Okay. She's in a band called Live from Earth, Pat Benatar and Beyond. Let's see here. Jill Marie Burke, Burke. Yes, I'm giving her a plug. Jill Marie Burke. I befriended her because she's a Pat Benatar tribute band, and she looks like Pat, and she sings beautifully, just like Pat. Highly suggest you find a Live from Earth. Again, I'm giving us a plug. Live from Earth, Pat Benatar and Beyond is the Facebook page. But I wrote to her and asked her if she could do that sometimes. I watched some of her videos, and I don't know if she said she did. It's just not on video, or if she was going to. But she said she gets that requested quite a bit. It's a beautiful song. And again, I think Benatar does it fantastic. And why she doesn't do it more often is beyond me. But something to go look at, something to go check out. Pat Benatar, Live from Earth with Jill Marie Burke. If you go over there, tell her I sent you. I say her and I have never met, but we have corresponded on Facebook several times, and we are also personal friends. Again, one of these Facebook things, I doubt if we will ever meet, but she is fantastic. She also has a YouTube page where she does a lot of it, a lot of the Pat Benatar songs as well. Okay, so there you go. But yeah, that I know what you mean, Brenda. Absolutely love that song, and I would love to have heard you sing it sometime. Because for those who don't know, Brenda and I used to do karaoke quite a bit together. Well, we didn't sing together. We were at the same venue singing together, singing our own songs, but at different times. But we were there. We hung out. We did stuff together. Had a couple of adult beverages together. Yeah, and Brenda, John, I'll tell you this: as good as you are, or were, as you put it, with the trumpet, Brenda was equally as good at singing. Yes, she could have been on stage somewhere. She was that good. She still probably is that good at singing. So there you go. Okay, so let's hit. Since we talked about movies, talked about a little bit of Pat Benatar, which she's coming to the near me in May 20th. I don't know if I want to go see it or not, and here's why. You're welcome, Brenda. And here's why I don't know if I want to go see Pat Benatar live, because I've seen her twice, two or three times. I've seen her in concert. I've been disappointed more than once. I know one time for certain. I don't know if it was the second. No, I think it's our twice. Yeah, I've been disappointed one of the times, because when I go to a concert, which is very rare, but when I go, I want to see a show. I don't want to see the singers just standing there singing, because I can do that by listening to the radio. I'm paying to see them entertain me with my eyes as well as my ears, if that makes sense. And the one time I saw Benatar, she did not. And I was disappointed. Like, there was no show. She basically sat there and sang, which is fine if that's what you want to see, but that's not what I want to see. That's not what I paid for. If I wanted that, I'd buy the CD at the time, and now you can download the music, or you can go to YouTube and listen to it. So I'm afraid to go to the show because of that. Now it's an outdoor venue, and I already have a quote unquote date. We're not in a romantic involvement, but we both said we wanted to go see it. So we're friends, and so we may go see it. But it's also this friend I'm talking about. She's also a teacher, and I don't know if I'll be teaching next year or not. And this is a Sunday night, and we're getting old. You know, we don't want to get back like at midnight from a concert and then get up and go teach the next day. So another couple of things are putting it on the back burner, so to speak. So I'm still debating whether to go see it or not. I don't think it's going to be sold out because there's all kinds of lawn seats, if that makes sense, because it's an outdoor venue. But we'll see. The Beach Boys were at this venue about 2 weeks ago, and a lot of people went. I did not. I saw the Beach Boys maybe about 20 years ago. Wait, let me think about this. It would have been, oh my gosh, more than that. It would have been every bit of 30 years ago. Wow. Which reminds me, listen to this. All right. You're familiar with the movie Back to the Future, the original one, the first one. From 1985, Michael J. Fox, Marty McFly, goes back in time how many years? Goes back to the year 1955. So from 85, 30 years back to 1955, right? Okay. Big difference between the two. Think about this. Now we're in the year 2023. If we were to go back in time 30 years, we would be in 1993. Doesn't that seem like it was yesterday? 1993. Doesn't it seem like it was yesterday? Isn't that weird? So if you'd go back in time to 1993 and you found yourself, what would you do? Oh man, yeah. What would you do? I would give myself all kinds of stock tips: what to invest, when, and when to pull out of the stock tips. Yeah, and watch your mind there, Brenda. Watch your mind. We don't want to go there. Okay, so so think about that. 1993. If we were to do Back to the Future starting today, isn't that wild? Just think about that. Like, oh, wild and scary at the same time. Okay. Anyway. All right. Weird stuff. I don't know if you want to call that current event or not. Going back to 1993. I don't know if you want to call that whatever. Weird stuff. This is what I wanted to talk about a little bit. And I got to figure out how to do this so I can put it on the screen. Okay. Have you guys heard? Let's see. Let's see. Have you guys heard about the like, oh, there's a commercial for this elemental thing. Is it? You guys heard about this UFO thing? Yeah, about the in Vegas, the UFO sighting or thing in Vegas. Let me do something here. Okay, wait a second here. 911 call. Okay, so I'm gonna play this for you guys. Wait a second here. How are we gonna do this? Oh yeah, I gotta do it like this. Okay, yeah, I set up these fancy dancy back screens and everything for us. Okay, so this was the 911 call. Uh-oh. Wait a second. I gotta do this again. I gotta make sure you can hear it. Okay. You see on my screen the camera that goes there. All right. So I want to share the screen. Do this. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, yeah, share the audio too. Okay. So there we go. So if I play this.
Okay, what's going on over there?
Okay, lady. Me, my dad, and my brother, we're working on a truck in our backyard, and we have a big lot outside, right? Correct?
Okay.
We were working, and we just see in a corner of our eye something fall down from the sky, and it was with light. And when it hit down, it was like a big impact, and we felt it. We felt like an energy, and then we hear like a lot of footsteps near us, and then we have a big equipment, and we see, and there's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and it's looking at us, and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually we're terrified of it.
So there's two people or two subjects that are.
Okay, I want to stop it here because I don't want to get flagged by YouTube to show copyright content or not. But this dude is saying that there's an 8-foot tall guy or creature or thing in his backyard. And there was a 911, a police officer actually called in and said they caught something on body cam or one of the cams or something that they saw fly over the sky and crash land somewhere. All right, so let's continue with this.
They're in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like
Okay.
8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes.
Okay.
Like I can't explain it.
Okay, so
They're
what we're
big
watching
mouth.
here is not this video did not correspond with the call. What you heard was the 911 call. This video, I guess, is shot from the guy's
They're
backyard or
shiny eyes,
something like that.
and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
Okay. And here's another view of this, which I thought was, and no one got a pic of that. I say hoax. No, there's all kinds of videos of this thing flying through the sky, Brenda. There's all kinds of videos of that. So let me, all right, let me show you this one here. Share screen. Okay. Okay. This is a guy, okay, who apparently somebody did a short showing something going on here in about this backyard stuff, and this guy analyzed the video this YouTube short that somebody took. So let's watch this.
At what I'm calling the Vegas Backyard Aliens video that Angel posted. Here's the first video, just regular speed. Lochero, I think she's saying, she's telling them to close the gate. Anyway, let's slow it down. And I want you to look at the lower right in the fence. You see some motion there. And at first, I thought it was shadows, but as you look closer, you can actually see there are 3 points. There's sort of a triangle, and there's actually something you can see it's breaching the fence. It's like a hand. You can see 3 points there moving up. This motion is happening as these guys are backpedaling. So you would.
Okay, it's all right here. If you haven't seen it yet, or if you can't see it, it's all right in this area here. The guy's talking about.
First, naturally think that this was related to that, but the more you watch it, and the closer you look at it, as we zoom in, you can see that there's something physical. It's not shadows. It's not light. There is something physical there, like hands or feet or whatever. Here's the second part. This one is a little less clear. But look out beyond the section I highlight here. You can see a sort of a shadow get smaller, like it's getting behind that forklift, and then a light turning on, or an eye, or whatever it is. And what's interesting.
Now, this is what he's talking about. It's not somebody shining a light there, because he just the author of this video is just showing this, so you know what he's looking at.
Interesting about this is it's not as if the light is being revealed by the camera moving, because the camera is moving straight down, right? The camera stays on the same plane, but the light suddenly, boom. This video is really fascinating to me, primarily because the people in it aren't necessarily seeing what we see when we watch it back.
Isn't that weird? All right, let me stop here. I gotta stop it before he does something here. What's going to? Not a hope. Let's see what they have to say here.
It was the streak.
Okay, here it is. Okay, what was Brenda saying? I saw the video of the streak in the sky, but don't believe they saw aliens.
Seen across the sky, now seen around the world. This, as our 8 News Now investigators confirm, Metro actually set up cameras at this home where a family called 911 claiming to see aliens in their backyard. And tonight, a fierce debate.
Okay, we're not even going to bother watching all that. Let me go back to there. Okay, back to my camera screen here. Okay. There's some real good stuff happening on wrestling right now. But anyway, so I thought that the guy that analyzed the video was cool. And the reason I thought that was cool is because I've watched dozens, if not hundreds, of Bigfoot videos. Yes, I am a Bigfoot fanatic. I'll watch anything about Bigfoot. Will I go out looking for a Bigfoot? Hell to the no. Are you kidding me? I'm not going out there in the dark. No way I'm going in the woods in the dark. Nuh-uh. But I've watched dozens, if not hundreds, of Bigfoot videos where a couple of guys, and they used to have pretty big YouTube channels. And I don't know whatever happened to them. But a couple of guys analyze videos to prove whether they're fakes or not. And a lot of them, I mean, they get in details like this, like the guy you just saw showing how it was zoomed in and it got really close. Some of these guys zoom in and get really, really close to some of these Bigfoot videos. And it's obvious they are hoaxes. Well, not all of them. Some of them are obvious. Some of them are hoaxes. There's a couple of them out there that are believable. If they are hoaxes, these guys went to extreme measures to get these hoaxes. I mean, extreme measures. So I don't know how they would do it or why they would do it, but they do. There's people out there that will try to hoax everybody. Why? I don't know, because it doesn't make any money for them. What's the point? But yeah, I'm a Bigfoot fan, you know. But once again, am I going to go searching for them? Hell to the no. No, absolutely not. Which reminds me, there's a television show on. It's called Alone. If you've watched this, it is riveting, at least to me. I watched it from the very start of the very first episode of the very first season. I guess because I just had the TV on the History Channel at the time, and I watched this, I was hooked. They take 10 people, they being the television show. Who they is beyond that, I don't know. Those producers, behind the scenes people. And they put these people in the middle of nowhere in different spots so they can't even find each other. And the person who lasts the longest wins. And right away, people are saying, yeah, but they got camera crew out there and everything else. No, these people have to film themselves. They carry all their own gear. They film everything themselves. Now, they do have periodic, what they call wellness checks. I don't know if it's once a week, every 3 days, every 4 days, somebody comes out to check on them. Ooh, sorry about that. Also, one thing, I don't know why I start yawning. Maybe because it's past my bedtime. I don't know. But also in this Alone show, the contestants only get 10 items to bring with them, and there's a whole long list of items that they have. They have 10 items to bring with them, and that's it. They have to get their own food, make their own shelter, make their own warmth. They have to build their own fire, get their own water. They have to do all this on their own with basic stuff. 10 items, and I don't think that includes clothing. Some of these folks, their whole life is living off the land, and they can't do it, and because it's so intense. Some of these places they put people out there are so intense. This year they're in a very remote area. Brenda says naked and afraid without naked and without the other person. You're by yourself. That's why it's called Alone. And you're filming yourself. You do everything yourself. So I'm assuming Brenda has seen it before. I've watched Naked and Afraid. I don't care for Naked and Afraid. Because first of all, if somebody saw me naked, they'd be afraid. All right, let's leave it at that. But no, and this year with Alone, apparently they started a couple of seasons ago, where they're allowed to bring a bow and arrow with them, a bow with several arrows. The first several episodes, they weren't allowed to do that. Oh, doubtful. Yeah, Brenda. Okay, yeah. Well, maybe when we get together, you'll see me naked. Yeah, I doubt that. And once again, you'll be afraid. But anyway, so this season just started a couple weeks ago. It's season of Alone, one of my favorite television programs, which is another trivia question for an upcoming show. I might do a show about trivia. I have seen every episode of Alone. Every episode of Alone. Maybe not some of the prelim or post season episodes, but every episode of Alone, I'm riveted. I couldn't tell you the players, couldn't tell you their names. I usually try to pick out the winner at the beginning of each season. And for the first 3 or 4 seasons, I did. And I don't know if it's because I'm that damn good, which I don't think I am, or because the way the editing was to make you lean to a particular person. The last 2 seasons, I missed horribly. I picked the wrong people. The people I picked were out in the first 5 people. Right. So how it works is they put you in the middle of nowhere, and you have to do everything yourself and outlast everybody else. But you don't know how long anybody else is. So somebody might last 1 day, somebody might last 100 days. You don't know. The only way you know is what they call tapping out. You don't tap out until they come and say you're the last one standing. And I think the winner, well, I know the winner of each season gets $500,000, which nowadays in TV land and game show land, it ain't much compared to other shows. That ain't much. But hey, I'm not sneezing at $500,000 because I haven't won it yet, but I would love to. So the whole premise is to stay out there longer than everybody else. And there was one episode of one season where some big military dude gets dropped off. They bring you in with a boat or a plane. They drop you off and then they leave. You have one-way communication or two-way communication. They communicate back and forth with you. But for instance, they have like a thing on their wrist they have to carry at all times. It's like a panic button type thing. That, and they also have a long-range radio, like a satellite type radio. They can call on that. The panic button, no one has used a panic button yet that I know of. At least I don't recall anybody ever using the panic button, but they have. But they have them available. The other buttons, people have tapped out for all kinds of different reasons. But the one that really, really pissed me off was the guy's dropped off. I don't even know what season it was. I think it's season 3 or 4. He was dropped off and he saw bear tracks, literally black bear tracks around what was going to be his campsite. So within the first few hours, he tapped out. I'm done. I can't do this. Dude, you knew they was going to do that. You knew they put you out in places where there's going to be bear. If there's supposed to be some big burly military dude, I'd hate for you to defend my country. I hate for you to defend me. If you know going into it, there's going to be bear. Don't be scared of them. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say that. Yes, you will be scared of them, but if you're going to tap out right away, don't go to begin with. Give it to somebody else that was going to be there for a while. I wish I could remember what season that was. I thought the best season was where they had couples, whether it be a husband and wife, brother and brother, dad and son was another one. But they put somebody in their area where they're going to camp. Once again, they have to make their own shelter from anything they can find. And then they drop the other person 10 miles away, and that person has to hike their way and find their way back to the shelter. Again, with only using minimal equipment. And I do believe a compass is not, and I repeat, is not one of the items that they bring with them. So they drop off person A at the campsite or this area campsite. Person B, they drop off 10 miles away and say, okay, you go north until you find your person. Like, whoa, hey. And so you don't know how long it's going to be to get there. Yeah, because it's not like you're walking down the road. You're walking through thickets and wilderness and trees and brush and streams and all kinds of stuff. So it takes several days to get from place point A to point B. And the person who's doing the shelter, you don't know how long it's going to take somebody to get there either. But you want to have everything prepared for when they do get there, right? And at the same time, you're listening or watching or trying to send up signals, like smoke signals type thing, to show people where you're at. So it was intense. The one brother team got taken out on the first day because the brother hiking to his brother who was at the campsite fell and broke his leg. So he had to tap out right away. And the other brother at the campsite saying, "What happened? Why am I getting pulled off of here?" Because they didn't tell him what happened. Then he got on the boat or whatever and said, "Hey, you're leaving because your brother broke his leg," or something like that, which I thought was a pretty shitty deal. Yes, I said shitty. Get over it. I thought they should have asked those two guys to come back at another episode. Maybe they did, and I just don't recall it. Again, I don't remember all the names of everybody. Have no clue about the names of everybody. But it's a fantastic show. Do I suggest watching it this season? If this is the only season you're going to watch, go back from the beginning and watch it. But I would suggest starting from season 1 and watching, because each year they progress a little more with their the way that everybody's being filmed. I shouldn't say everybody's being filmed, but the way they're filming themselves, because I'm sure they're getting all kinds of directions. Say, okay, put the cameras here, because every couple of days with the cameras, the TV crew has to come in and change the batteries of the camera. And how they do that, I don't know yet. I don't know if that's part of the wellness visit or how many batteries they got to carry, because as we know, your cell phone battery lasts maybe a half a day nowadays, and after you use it for a while, especially if you're constantly filming or constantly using it. I'm sure that, again, the virus threat protection. Why do I keep getting this thing? If anybody knows how to turn this off, it ticks me off, because I use a different kind of virus protection. Okay. I have to figure this out. Okay. All right. So that's the show alone. As I said, we covered movies. We covered some weird stuff. We'll get to current events another time. We didn't cover fitness and health or personal. But you know what? I'm going to stop it here. It's been right at an hour, but I'm going to end it here. The show. I had a fun time tonight. I hope everybody else had a fun time with me. And tell all your friends to come in to Popcorn and Whiskey. We're going to start doing this live more often than not. And I don't know, maybe if I can go back here and see something here. If, and Brenda, maybe you can tell me here, because I thought I set this up to have, no, it didn't. Only because I posted it. It was supposed to have something set up on Facebook where you see I was going live at a certain time, but I had to post it myself in a different chat or a different thread. Brenda, love your show. Will you be on tomorrow night? I'm planning on it, Brenda. I have all kinds of different things, and I'll put different topics of discussion. If there's a topic you want me to discuss, let me know so I can put it over here in my queue over here on this thing, and my queue over there. I'll put it over there. We'll do that way. But any kind of improvements or things that you see that could be changed or I shouldn't have, let me know, and we'll go from there. Okay. But I'll stop it here. Again, thanks everybody for being here, and check out Popcorn and Whiskey. Subscribe to it on my YouTube page if you can. Please go over there. It's titled Popcorn and Whiskey. And my goal is to start having sponsors, whether it be hat sponsors, because right now I'm promoting Dirk's Auto in Clinton, Indiana. There you go. I like to wear hats, or whiskey or popcorn sponsors as well. Little by little, we'll get up there. Okay, so I'll stop it here. Thanks for being here, everybody. This is Andrew. I am the Fates who runs the place. Night, Brenda. Until next time, this is me. Ciao.